I'm a dog. All right, we started this shit.
Wee!
That's fucking right. That is right. All right.
Trey's still like, why the fuck are we doing that?
Told me once, but
Dog, I don't even know why we do that. The only thing I remember about that is the time Cody wasn't here and we all said that we would in his honor, and now that's all I think about.
We
Yes.
started either back from a break or started a session, and I was feeling particularly unhinged. Like 10 seconds.
No, I know you started it, but I just still don't know what it was from or for.
One of those nights that I had 30 minutes of sleep and had been up for
In 17 monster energies, yeah.
And 17 monsters.
Everybody was like kind of in a chill mood, and it was really quiet, and like, but it was like such like a, I don't know, it was like the way you did it. It was
Well, we are back.
Yay.
I think we're officially into like the 30, like this might be session 31 now, so that's pretty cool. Considering the last game went to like 45, probably on track for, similar. I think we're in the second half, or the final period for my hockey people.
We're in the second half.
So as far as a quick recap, you guys are still in Celestia. You've now been reunited with your melee boy. Melicraft is back with the blessing and a badass new weapon from his goddess. All of you, after completing the garden trial, went up to face Elias in his combat-driven trial, of which you did succeed. And through the completion of that task, he essentially awarded you all with information. A couple of things, some, paternal stuff, but also kind of dropped the bomb on, I believe he just, and I was a bad boy. I didn't go back and rewatch the session. This is from memory.
It was just me.
Yeah, so I think it was just you about the bomb about 400 years in the future. The world has been progressing while you guys have been, just lollygagging.
We've been grinding, okay?
We've been grinding.
You did. You guys essentially went out and just like leveled up a couple times, got more weapons to come back. But he did drop that bomb on you. And I believe that is where we ended that session as you were turning back to talk with the rest of the group. Elias did say that now you've completed, he is able to progress you all to the next mountain of Celestia. So that'll be it. When you guys are ready, go and find Elias. He's just going to be, swinging a sword.
He's just kind of like off in the corner.
Yeah, he's going to be like standing at the edge of this tower, just looking out at the clouds.
With that exclamation point.
Yeah.
So we just kind of standing in a circle, or we go?
You're coming back to us.
Yeah, you're walking back. He took you to like semi-private.
walked off together. You've just turned around, and we all just turned
He
around.
gave
and
you-
weren't staring.
So what's going
He's coming back.
He gave you the glaive back, right? He gave you your glaive back because he like Darth Mauled the shit and connected it, and then he gave that back to you, and now you're walking back to the crew.
Callan would be walking out, but he wouldn't be very jovial at the moment.
When has he ever?
When he's high.
Because I got.
I'm going to say this with the most sincerest amount of feelings. You look as sober as I've ever seen you.
Sober moment.
Are you still changing sizes? Like you're kind of like.
Yeah, I'm probably a good 3 or 4 feet
To be
tall.
fair, when a man can't change his size, there's certain magical remedies for that.
Describe.
This is not an ad for Blue Chew.
But if you want to sponsor this,
Yeah, if you guys want an average of 115 concurrent viewers, we'll take offers.
I don't. We have been here to us a couple days, right? Except you've been trapped for.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of you for 4 years.
You just drop in.
It hasn't been that long.
I've
You
gathered
need to get yours.
through context clues that there was some sort of tournament that never
Where
happened.
did you get sent?
Do you mean 4 days?
Yes, it's only been 4 days.
About we've been here much longer than we have intended.
Well, yes, I didn't plan
With
to
all
be
due
here
respect,
for
Eric,
a
we've
day.
just been
We've
out
only
here
had
for a
four
month.
sleeps. It has been 4 days.
I don't even know if I've slept here.
I don't think we left you.
I got attacked by some imaginary
I'm sure I've
vines.
slept at least once.
I mean, it's
At the moment, when we return, if we return, it'll have been 400 years.
Excuse me?
You're not the most reliable source, I will say, or the smartest cookie.
You say 400. Another child says 4
The
years.
smartest
okay.
cookie.
whether or not it's true, I don't know, but
Maybe.
he believes it because he's way bigger than he normally is. So he's
Make
upset.
That is not
I'm not
my
good with that.
Make an
information.
insight. Make an insight check.
It's something like Velikov was 4, you were 400. 4x equals.
My mother is dead. Your mother is dead.
15.
Our families are gone.
You're not really telling me anything, man.
Your people, the ones you've known in the 3 days we were there, are most likely gone. Everyone is gone. This is not
How do you know this?
because a god told me.
Is that what they pulled you aside for?
Yes.
Insight check.
I totally thought you were like.
Yeah.
Totally thought he was about to launch his iPad. And you were trying to catch it.
That's a natural 20 on that second insight.
Oh,
when you
well.
said yes.
Well, then there's more. I mean,
What are you not telling us?
I did not. I mean, I got half, but
It's alright.
So 10.
Fairy has got us.
Even as a woman's intuition.
what I will say is the throne is mine, not only by blood, but by divine right. So,
What does that
You
mean?
have my vote. If we
um,
were a democracy. I don't think we are.
it's really.
I'm not really connecting the dots here. I'm assuming you were a god the whole time?
That would be easier to deal with this, but
Why are you being so cryptic? Just get out with it. I'm impatient here.
Relax, you have lots of time. Apparently, it's been 400 years.
who does Elias look? Look at the giant man over there. Who does he look like?
Guess I look at him.
He looks shockingly similar to Corey.
So divine right.
Like, is it Corey probably, or like just similar?
It looks really similar.
Like he looks similar to Corey, or like
He looks
twin?
like a relative to Corey.
Okay.
Elias looks more like, the more you look at him, the more you're like, he's got a beard now.
But he's
Oh,
never
more
set
grizzled.
off my my divine sense, has he?
Maybe Elias was keeping it a secret the whole time.
I'm going to quietly.
I'd like to refer you all to the animated movie of Hercules, where he isn't glowing until like the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes-
I would like to
Okay,
introduce everyone to
sometimes-
divine sense.
Let's watch it.
Fire that off.
That's what
Am I getting celestial vibes?
Dude, first of all, this whole place is just blooming with celestial energy. And you see Elias just the most vibrant celestial like being that you've ever like seen in person, because you've never casted this in the presence of an actual god. But when you look at everyone else, everyone looks fairly dull. Callan looks he's got a little sparkle. got a little Twilight shimmer going, but it's not to that level.
Yes.
It's not to the level of Elias.
Yeah.
It's not. It's to help keep it congruent with kind of your thought process. You can tell that there's some sort of like guise. There's some sort of filter that is like blocking your ability to see that.
The eyes are like narrowed. And
His eyes go out like Bender from Futurama, like.
now that you mention it, I'm getting a bit of some divinity coming off of you, some celestial energy.
News to me.
Well, it appears to me in such a way that something has gone out of its way to mask that, and it's starting to wear off. Or you're starting to grow into it.
I did not take you for a religious man.
There's a
You
difference.
might need to become one.
Well, when your father is one, you don't really need to believe in him. He's just there. Oh. Because
Your father is not a god.
there's a look at Elias.
I think
There's a look back at you.
Elias is still Superman posing, looking out.
It is all
But then
lit.
he turns and kind of looks back, and with the backlit of all the celestial like golden clouds and everything, the resemblance is pretty unmistakable. Anari, make a perception check or a history check, whichever is better. I don't know. I think those might be the same.
Well, I nat 20 that.
Wow, what'd you get?
I nat 20.
Whoa!
No need. Yeah, this is Corey.
So this whole time,
It looks a
she's
little
been-
different.
Been talking.
Yeah.
And she's just looking at him.
But yeah, our families are dead,
Right, yeah.
and
And looking at him. And then like you can just slowly see like her tails are like cats. You know how they like start to they're instantly, but it wasn't quickly. It's just like they're just slowly, and then like they
Hairs
calm
on
down.
your tails are
Like a
And then
porcupine, just slowly like.
slowly they
yeah.
like calm down, and the tails slowly start to move a little bit, and then like more frantic, and you can start to see like her face is getting red because she's for the most part pretty emotionless on her face. Like her words are sharp, but her facial expressions are usually pretty stoic. She's just getting red, and then it almost feels like her hair is starting to like lift a little, and it just all drops, and she starts walking straight to Corey.
Whoa, are you okay? Wait, let's just watch.
Yeah, she's not.
I thought all the people that she loved are dead.
And so she's gonna, I don't know if it'll hit, but she's gonna go straight to you and just slap you.
As you like walk towards him, he sort of like bows down, like bows to you, like just cordially, and without him realizing it, presenting his face for a slap. And you go and just, and yeah, we'll roll for attack just for the comedy of if you like roll a natural 1 and
Little
whip.
advantage.
And I nat 20, that one too.
Oh!
Did you see it? Okay.
Exposition
I know.
nat
Well,
20.
it needs to be a red
When it's a role play, I got it.
Yeah. Well, damage is irrelevant, but like you
But
get
it's not,
you get a
it
full.
wasn't meant for
Oh,
you.
it's relevant.
It was
Yeah,
meant to
it's-
hurt his ego.
It's an ego check.
Yeah, it's just it's almost like he's expecting, like he sees the slap coming and he just kind of like readies himself and like he's expecting like, hey, I get hit all the time. This is my thing is getting hit, and he's expecting to just be like and like look back, but you hit and like some claws dig in a little bit, and he looks back kind of grimacing like.
And I want when that hit, kind of like you said, like it hits the claws in, and I want to like pull.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
I
pull.
think there's intention. Like,
Yeah. We'll say there's a couple of drips of blood, which even through all of the combat you guys had earlier, he really wasn't bleeding.
not yet.
But there's a little bit of blood here, a little.
The emotion was impactful for that one.
She is fierce.
Well, he also
And he kind of
like,
looks at you a
just
little
joking.
confused. He looks at you fairly confused, and he's like,
I think
I'm sorry for killing you.
So blunt.
I
For a long
think
time.
we need to say more than just sorry for killing me.
I
know
could
who
have
you are.
gone for the others and fought them, but I decided to continue to hit you when you were down. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Different than we
you think this is what I'm upset about? Do you not know who I am? I know who you are. Corey.
I have not heard that name in some time. My name is Elias.
Corey.
Is a piece of history. Why are they all staring at us?
I'm gonna look at each of y'all. Turn around.
Okay.
I need a private moment.
Are we all just going to talk to a god and not have any idea?
We're just on a platform. Where are we supposed to go?
I instantly turned around.
I did not.
I did not.
And I look right
And
back at
he's like, and he raises his hand in a wall of this marble floor. We said it was marble. This marble floor. This wall of marble, like bisects this circular platform, and you guys can't see or hear anything going on. So I'm gonna have all of
Be
you.
respectful and turn around.
I'm gonna have everyone go stand on the patio.
Oh shit!
Damn it!
Oh, so it can be recorded. Okay. All right.
I mean, she's probably gonna tell you anyway. But just to avoid any distractions within the role play, since you guys are snickery little people.
I
can't wait to watch the recording later.
Yeah, take my pooch. There's so many people on that little patio.
It's so cute. She's only standing there only. Okay.
So now that we're alone, Corey.
I need answers now.
I've lived many lives as a mortal. When I was selected by Soul to be his champion of war, I had to leave behind mortality. And you'd be surprised to learn that you come to miss it. The idea that there is a finale, that there's an end, a purpose to everything you do. Everything I do has a rippling effect for generations, as Elias. But when I wear the skin of someone like Corey, every action I take has a certain import and weight. Made me feel alive to be him. To be all of them.
So was I just a game to you? Was this just a way to live out some fantasies of this poor little girl in the village?
I don't intend to be insensitive. But my purpose in walking in the skin of Corey was that of fulfilling a fantasy, was a game, as you call it. I cannot deny that. But as you feel betrayed by me as I'm gaining from your demeanor, I was also betrayed as a mortal by some magic wielding poser of power.
Valcor, is that what you speak of?
I believe he also goes by the name the Night Stalker. But yes, Valcor. slimy, pathetic mortal who's trying to climb his way to divinity. But of course, what you refer to as more interpersonal.
Interpersonal. I wonder what would make you think it was interpersonal. Maybe the fact that you asked me to leave my village for you, and I waited for you, and you did not show. Why do you think this is acceptable? Like this would not be impactful? Like that would not hurt? Of course, this is personal. I am enraged. I have wished you dead for decades, and I waited, both in agony of wishing you were dead, but in hope that you were okay. And this whole time was just a game. You, some second thought that you did not even recognize me or care to remember me.
You are right. I was insensitive. My intentions were not directly to harm you or to hurt you. When I take mortal form, I don't have my authority or my power. I am mortal. To an extent. When I am killed, I come back. Here. Retake my form. One of the more unexpected pieces of mortality is how easy it is to be manipulated, charmed. Valkor was not someone I should have underestimated. That blade, that knife, should not be underestimated. It took hold of me. It made me kill a man that I learned to love as my own father. It made me fall in love with him, with Valkor. I never had those feelings. The moment I retook my form as Elias, clarity came over me and disgust for this being. I never liked him, never wanted to be around him, but somehow I couldn't help myself. I was drawn to him, drawn to his presence, the idea of what he could be, what we could be. So much so that I committed 2 treasonous acts. 1, regicide, killing my version of my father. And 2, abandoning you and your village in apparently a time of need, which was, in retrospect, by design, as his people were also involved in the attack of your village. I'm not there. The royal army can't know. And it was easy. I cannot make that up to you, or give you that life back. I apologize.
I loved you. Hated you. I almost left my sister.
We would have inevitably been very happy. But mortality would have taken you, and it would have taken me. I would have ended up here. I don't believe you would.
I do not know if I can ever forgive you.
You do not have to. You can use the rage for me. If anything, there's nothing more that I endorse than using that rage. Become a warrior and find the Night Stalker and all of his minions and destroy them. He has grown. He has grown immensely since the time you met him. Power has become stronger. He has thousands of followers. It is not a secretive society anymore. The Night Stalker runs the world you know.
How can that be?
This was all by design. From the second you all touched that blade, it set this into action. You need to find that blade, and you need to stab Valcor through the heart.
We do not know where this blade is.
That is-
you?
That is a part of the challenge that is in front of you.
Everything is changed. Where is Valcor? Can you at least speak this to me?
I do not know. He is shrouded himself. But you all have proven yourself over and over again. I have no doubt. And even more so, I will be sending you all to meet with Sol, my god, god of the sun. He may be able to help, give you a way to fix this. But I don't ask for your forgiveness, I have not earned it. But hopefully, my perspective can help you with the closure of our situation. Use the fuel of that anger to stab that blade into Valcor. Only then will I ask your forgiveness.
I do not know what time will bring, but I think at this point, you are not who I imagined you to be. At this point, I'd much rather just move past this. I've been holding myself back, I think, from finding happiness and joy. I'd rather just forget you. So,
I will grant you one thing. Name your price.
what is within your power?
Name your price.
I want my sister back.
It's like she never left.
Really? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I need to check my notes. When you get back to the city where you all met, well, in the city that you all met, Lenora, it had a peculiar name, Redborough. That city has changed. I believe it goes by the name of Asheroth. Some Valcor slang, I'm sure. Your sister will be a monk, one of the leaders of one of the factions. She goes by the name Alara Voss.
Is she safe? You have to keep her safe.
She will
Okay.
be awaiting you. She will not know. She does not know. But when you see each other, all her memories will be granted.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but thank you.
Find her.
It must be.
And he lowers the marble door. They can't see me.
Boys! Come back!
Yay! Alright,
I'll let her tell you.
That was fun.
Fine.
That was fun.
you have to give her a blanket back, baby.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Went a little longer than I meant it to.
We were asking for anything for nothing.
I taste it.
That just means that it's going to be that much more awesome to watch.
I don't know if it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm curious what she's gonna share with you all, but
Yeah.
Probably not a lot.
Well, I'm just gonna watch it. But,
oh yeah, you guys are all gonna.
Yeah, I'm really going to watch it and skip to this part just to see.
I will say, I really wish, because a lot of this is going to be like subtle facial expressions, that you're probably not going to pick that stuff up in the video. That was good.
So, the marble wall collapses, and you see Anari and Elias standing in front of each other. Elias towers over Anari, obviously. A similar trait to Callan. As they were talking, he grew a little bit in size and like shrunk down and grew. It's almost like he grows with like the emotions of the conversation. But you guys watch as he like shrinks back down. And he just bows. He bows again, and he's like, "Please don't slap me. Come find me when you are ready to progress."
I think we're ready. We have some things to discuss. Okay, talk to her.
Are you trying to discuss
Are
them
we
now
discussing
or
them?
go to the
I
next?
figure like as we go, I don't know how we're gonna go, but I figure as we go.
He's gonna just poof. He's just gonna poof like portal like you guys came into this.
Before we move on, if you are indeed Corey, then would you happen to know how I could make contact with an individual named Valcor? I need to kill him.
She needs to kill him.
We need to kill him.
He's on the list.
You
Yes,
have a
I
list?
do have those answers for you.
So you have you know where to find him?
Not those answers.
She has a contact that may be able to assist.
We're gonna go see Soul.
The god?
Yes. No.
What?
We must
The
go.
hard disk is like skipping, click, click, click. Huh?
Are
Soul?
you ready?
Are you ready?
Oh yes, they're ready because I'm ready.
Soul?
Yes. So put on your big boy pants.
You tell me of all the religious figures. We're going to like directly to the top.
I'm sorry.
I don't believe I stutter.
Would you prefer to speak to someone else?
Oh no, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is happening.
We're going to Soul. I said it.
And let's go Soul.
All you need.
To prepare you. Soul is the Lord and God of the sun. His radiance, his brightness is quite divine.
Put on your glasses.
My sunglasses.
I may be the god of war and combat and strategy. My advice to you in interacting with him, my strategic guide for you. Be concise, true, or he will end you. He does not have a soft spot for mortals as I do. You will be seen as an instrument in his design. And he makes a gesture at all of the thousands of people training. And he has plenty to replace you. Have a good time.
We
Don't forget to take a selfie. Yes. Questions now.
I was just turning to go. In a brief moment of very rare forethought for me, I do know it's surprising. In the presence of an almighty being, which I myself did not believe, due to scientific research based on my parents, to even exist, what is it that everybody wants? Before we have a conversation, because if he is saying that we must speak true, we better not fuck around and find out.
I think I agree. Please don't try to commence intercourse with Soul.
I should go home to
I
our
do
time.
a little bit of mistranslation.
I want to say first and foremost that I'm seeing some real development in you, Cornelius, and I'm very proud.
Well,
This was exactly what I was going to say to you.
I did find out my sisters and brothers died 400 years ago, apparently. But I also understand
Maybe we
just
can change that.
65 million years is something ridiculously far in the past, so there's a reason why we're here. I just didn't think we should muddle, which is something that I am very familiar with. Muddying the waters of whatever conversations are. So I am now realizing the ramifications being in a realm that I didn't even imagine being in. Now, I mean, I would be the first to say my whole ambitions when we go there is to make sure we change time to either improve the Bexley name or to get back my family. I just don't know how I feel about other people saying their particular, what it is that we're trying to get here.
Well, I would say that we're probably trying to seek what it is that your mother was seeking in the first place, which is to allow us to stop this madness before it starts. I don't know exactly how we're supposed to do that. I have a feeling Soul might have an idea. But is that our unite? I know why I'm here, and that's to help Freya and to serve Freya personally, but in the larger scheme of things, accessing the timeline to stop malice before it gets to this point, I think helps everyone.
Yes.
I think asking Soul to send us to that place to prevent it would probably be the way to go. If we need to ask about Valcor, then that's
Prevent what?
all of this with malice. Maybe with I don't know when that is, and I think to expect us to know when it is doesn't make a lot of sense. But it sounds like that's exactly where we're going to Soul.
Because he would know the time that
Right.
we need to be sent to.
I'm sending you to Soul, so he may send you back to the world you know.
The only shot we have is to go back to our normal timeline. I don't know if Soul is going to have a plan. Mortals fucking with his plan is going to end with us dead.
I suppose that's why I'm asking.
I just
Because
wanna
if
go
you had
home.
asked me at some point in time whether I want my parents back or something bad happening, I would have said parents back, regardless of what the bad happening was. So if we get in front of this deity, so if he asks us individually why we want to go back, he may choose only a few of us at some point in time if he felt it was right.
I will say, from a begrudgingly reliable source, she'll like nod at him, Valcor's power has expanded exponentially. There's many among his followers, and he does need to be stopped with the dagger. We must stab it through his heart. Soul can help us with that. I will also say, again, begrudgingly, someone has given me some assistance and has brought my sister back. Would like to go find her. No,
Is she back in our time?
that's the way it sounds.
I don't know if we really have the right to ask Soul of anything. No.
We could ask him to help us help him.
His plan is his plan.
Well, if Soul values his creations, which it would seem to me from everything I know about him, he does, then them all being wiped off the face of existence or subjugated to someone else entirely might not coincide with his view of how he wants his creation to exist. So perhaps he can help us help him.
Do you think that this is part of his plan?
I don't think the malice part is.
I don't think so.
Or the Valcor part. It doesn't.
I mean, how would he even allow that to happen? He's as powerful as he is.
That's beyond our understanding.
I don't think
I mean,
the question
I'm not looking. I'm
deities.
probably not even the smartest of the backstage or chemo crew. That's what I'm saying to you. But I just want to make sure there's no sexual, for lack of a better phrase.
We won't know until we speak to him.
It'd be quite unfortunate if we go back and there's only a handful of us, not all of us. That's what I'm saying.
The more we delay, the more time goes by.
400 years. That's if he sends us back to current.
All of you are.
I think
all
if
my
we state
emperor.
our intention and then ask the questions of how do we make it happen, that's probably going to be as concise as we can. We don't know, and that's a true answer, and that's something that he can fill.
Maybe you should be the one to ask. Should not. You just speak a lot of words.
I'm also talking about another.
His daughter.
Oh, I understand the chain of command as far as the divides are concerned. No one needs to lecture me in the ways that conducting myself in front of divinity. I devoted an entire lifetime. Okay. That said, I will admit that I have a roundabout way of reaching the point.
You said that in a roundabout way.
So would we like to move forward now?
Yes.
Portal opens in front of you.
Let's go.
Mhm.
Yeah, forward, walking through.
You pass through. As you all pass through the portal, unlike the other mountains that you have visited so far in this celestial journey, this does not have vast lands or oceans or any of that. You are quite literally, this time, at the peak of a mountain. You all walk through and it's grass, but you're on the very top of a mountain. And as you look down, you see the soft, transparent clouds and the blue sky around as you're looking down at the clouds. As you look forward in this trail of kind of grass and there's stone like rock, like piercing up into the sky all around you. And there's a clear path that is kind of marked in grass. As you follow this path, there's a platform that rises, and there's probably about 200 or 300 stairs that lead up. And at the top, you see a throne. And at the top of that throne, you see a beacon of light.
Okay.
As you all climb the stairs and begin getting closer and closer to the top, this beacon of light starts to take a form. And sitting on top of this ivory throne is just a man, beaming with radiant energy. But this man is the size of a statue. He is the form and structural size of a statue. He's 60 feet tall in this chair. As you guys climb up, and the perspective is gained of like just how big this guy, this being is.
The Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, it's just big. And he looks at you all and tilts down as these little ants of people are climbing up his stairs. And in a booming voice, he opens his arms and he says, "Brave souls, illuminated by the radiant light of Celestia, I welcome you.
Taking
Yeah,
Yeah,
Me
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Come, all of you. Come to my platform. You are invited. Still on your knee?
No, I'll rise at that.
I'll
point.
rise
I'm
up, yeah.
kind of looking for a platform. I'm like, this is-
Well, as you get to the top, yeah, the chair is there's a decent amount of like
Okay. His knee. Just
You're gonna be sitting on his lap.
We got a Charlie horse.
So,
I-
wants for Christmas.
what's up?
I was gonna say, Bellacroft's celebrities are the divines, and so he's like having
Oh my
trouble,
God.
like, oh my god, so like
That's why you shouldn't talk.
internally he's just like
First time he's been a loss of words.
He looks at you all.
Cannot compute.
He looks at you all on the platform now, and kneeling, standing, however you all choose to be, and he says, "I've been following your journey. I'm impressed. Been long and arduous, difficult, challenging. But you've overcome. It is now time to be sent back to a world familiar but changed. The friends and family that you cherished are no longer with you, but their spirit will endure within each of you. You will return to a world shrouded in chaos, where the light of hope is that of a small beacon. That is you, carrying my light. The people are lost. They are leaderless. They have succumbed to the shadows of anarchy. But within each of you burns a radiance and a beacon of courage. And with my assistance, the ability to overcome that anarchy and be the prophet that they are expecting and so badly needing. It's up to you all to rekindle that flame of a lost world. The Astral Brotherhood, as you know, has expanded. They seek to awaken one of my brothers, and they are close. This cannot happen, as he does not abide by the rules of the divine. He will interact. He will be present. Not through visions or advice, but in physical form. And this cannot be.
How do we stop it?
How do you think you stop it?
Carry your light and do the bidding. Walking into a world hundreds of years later. Don't know if we know where to start.
Stand firm. You are all champions of the light. You are heroes of the sun, the dawn that will break the shadows. You just don't know it yet. Are you prepared to go back?
No. You have to.
Are all of you feeling the same? Even with the experience you've gained, the power you wield, he's looking at each of you, the weapons of the celestial blacksmith aren't. And then he gets to Levi. He says, He leans down, and with this giant finger, he just pokes. He pokes your pistol. You watch it just expand a little and glow. And he says, "That'll pack a more powerful punch now."
Oh, great, 357 right there.
You look at 44.
That's that is the radiance of soul. That weapon is the radiance of soul. I added it into the app. You should be able to add it to your equipment and attune to it. It will need to be attuned, but you don't have to wait for a long rest. It was granted for you to have. Let me know if you have issues finding that. Even with your weapons and your experience, you don't feel prepared.
I am not hesitant.
Good.
You mentioned at the very beginning, all of the loved ones we knew were gone.
Mm.
Even if we go back, they're no longer there.
The legacy of your loved ones lives on through your actions. Let their memory be your guide, and let their love be your strength.
I mean, I was going to do certain things with you, but it hurts me to know. In the world that we are going to save is one thing. I understand that. I understand the complexities of the dual thing we're working with, but forgive me, I turn to you guys. I have to know, did Elril ever create? Did she ever become something in whatever realm that she was in? Did Devereaux ever learn his patience? To not fight everything that he came across? Did Baldwin ever become a powerful sorceress? Did my sister ever say a word ever again? You're powerful, I need to know that.
If
Seeing as you are in front of me, I will say, you are powerful. I would like to know.
would knowing that make any difference in your actions moving forward?
I don't think it would. Steve. I say this
Then
with
why-
all due respect.
Why
to you.
hurt yourself with thinking of it?
Forgive me, for I am just a mortal. In the presence of a god. You have known so many loves and hatreds in all your life. But there are but 4 that I was given in this world to love, and those were my brothers and sisters, 2 taken away from me and my parents. Long to know, in whatever realm they were in, that they were happy, or that they met whatever means make them feel satisfied before the end. I will do your bidding regardless, because I wish to make sure the world continues. Far beyond Bexley name, I've learned that even though my parents tried so much to make it so important that they were prosperous, 100 years from now, who gives 2 shits?
400 years is not an expansive period of time, of change, and to be radical. But yes, there was an impact made by your kin. There's a mortal-founded town of Mythfrost, I believe. That is still around. To my knowledge, The Bexleys are the family running it. They must have done something right. So when you return, maybe ask them. But I cannot worry myself on one or two individuals when there are billions that demand my attention. And I need to be ensured that if I send you back, your attention will be on saving them. If not, what's the point? If you cared so much about their protection, why have you been gallivanting along with these pirates and thieves and mercenaries instead of protecting them? It seems your priorities only change when there's nothing left for you to do.
I suppose I thought if my name was recognized, nobody could cause them harm. I've realized now that that is incorrect. I only ask one last favor before I do your bidding, which I wholeheartedly deserve and should do for the sake of saving the world. If Dryra no longer exists, could you speak in her voice?
To what gain?
When she spoke, it was almost as if it was an innocence of the world. That it was pure, nothing more than this what she saw. She was neither like my brothers, who I was always felt insufficient to, or Elrel, who I felt second to some degree. She, in what little memories I have of her, was very honest and kind. Why I collected, and you see me pull out of a bag of holding a bunch of books. Books for her. If she's gone, she has no need to read them. That was her favorite thing, was reading. I wish to return all these to her, but no worries, if not. I have not seen, or I have not heard her speak in 17 years, or 400, or millions, depending how you see it. I'm not very likely to be in the presence of someone as yourself ever again.
I wish I could grant you this, but that seems to be outside of my ability. I'm not sure why.
Maybe she lives.
Maybe.
That is all the hope that I need.
He's looking at you as if Superman with X-ray vision. He's like looking into your like chest, and he's like looking around. What is that? That beam in your coat? The rod?
Oh yeah. It's something my parents came up with.
He's looking at it and he says, it reeks of dunamancy.
Well, I did just discover in the Battle with Elias the actual properties of it. I was suspecting that it involved time dilation to allow one to reverse a very small segment of time.
That's brilliant. You don't need to know. How did you all come to Celestia? Unhurt, unharmed? Seems clouded to me.
Gift from Freya.
Freya granted us entry.
For what purpose? To see me, I reckon.
To contact you and get access to the timeline to stop Malice from doing everything he's doing.
Interesting.
Make alterations to the timeline. Our mortal hands.
I can't do that. Everything that is put forth in motion is put forth well before me. This sort of magic is just that. It's not divine. You can't bend time to your will. Not at a mortal's level. But this gives me hope. That there are mortals out there that can wield such power. You may not be able to change the history of time, but I may be able to grant you all a boon of my power for those that desire it. It will not help you in the defeat of the Astral Brotherhood or Valcor, but it may help bring peace to those that require it. May I see that wand of yours?
I was going to get
It's like a tic tac in the hand.
Biggest sniper was like, well, it's not a watch. That's
You put it in his hand. You put it in like the palm of this being, and it just hovers above, and it kind of spins slowly. And says, yes, take it. You take it, and it's warm to the touch. And he says, I grant you one charge. You and 2 others may travel back to any point. However, that is a one-way ticket. And nothing will change the outcome of the timeline. But if it brings you peace to go back and be with your family, you can. However, everything that has been put into motion will be in motion.
It's like the finger tapping.
No pressure.
Very thankful of such a gift. I definitely don't feel deserving of the presence of an almighty, if you will. Woodcroft, you anything to say?
I do. If you're done, I would like to seek your knowledge. I'm quick with my question. Do you know where the dagger is that I can kill Valcor with? Where Valcor is as well?
Yes.
Where is those locations?
Well, the location is
Of the-
difficult,
Uh-huh.
but where it is likely with his confidant.
Who is?
You all know her.
Laura.
I would guess.
She's alive. 400 years later?
Well, you got an
If
immortal dagger.
she wields the dagger, it preserves, as you all have seen,
I get a big old smile on my face.
You're like, I still get my gold man.
If you wield the dagger, you do not age. It's one of the curses of its effect. All around you may, but you do not. And I believe your friend here wielded the dagger.
Wielded wouldn't quite be the words I use.
It was sheathed inside you, yes.
That is more accurate.
I think I can go back to where before she stabbed you.
Can't change it.
No, I think you would get stabbed no matter what. Yeah, true. I mean, if I'm way overshoot.
Do you know where Lenora is?
With Valcor, I'm sure.
Of course.
Most likely in Redborough.
Knowing Lenora,
They are.
There was a word, it's renamed, but I don't remember it. Shade, what was that name again?
Tristan and names doesn't do well.
Yeah, no, there's a reason to videotape this.
The name of the contact that I gave you?
Both. Well, the
What do you mean
Aster.
both? Well, the Astral
If
Brotherhood.
you gave her names, you got to repeat
He
the
said
names.
Redborough was
Oh, yeah, the new name of the city. That
Yeah.
is Asheroth.
Aster.
They renamed my city.
But the contact you're speaking of is Alara.
Yes. A lot of what?
That's my sister. But yes, Redborough is no more. It is now under a new name.
but yes, that's where we'll find Lenora. She'll be at the center of the chaos. If that's where it is, that's where she is.
That's where we'll find the dagger.
She may or may not be there. I can see the city fairly clearly. When I try to locate this darkness, it's shrouded from me, which is why I need mortals to go in, like yourselves, and
I'm ready.
complete this task.
I'm very ready. Yes.
He looks at Cornelius. I gave you mercy with this. And he looks at the rod. It won't change the outcome. But if it helps you to know and gives you purpose, I feel it's important for you to know that your sisters survived the original onslaught of the Brotherhood. Your brothers did not. Your sisters are the Bexleys that have kept Mythfrost alive. Of course, generationally. But that is your key, being there with them to see it thrive, if you wish. But I may advise you to use that after you've completed your task and live out your days knowing they will make something of that name.
We'll say I am smart enough to take the warning of a god. I believe I will do so. Women were always the smarter ones in the family.
Why do you think my daughter guides this one? Yes, I see you.
He's so giddy.
He's like,
He knows me.
It's like a meet and greet at Comic Con.
He knows me. If armor could blush. Oh, shining extra bright.
Do you want your body back? Or do you like your form?
Probably a little more durable.
Freya asked if I would. I'm not certain if I will grant it yet.
Well, in the same way that you bestowed upon Cornelius the ability to go back,
Him and two others.
I feel like your purpose and Freya's purposes are best served in my current form. Because we need to cut off Lenore from Malice by forgiving her.
No,
No. Kill her.
my mother is
Yes.
dead because of the Astral Brotherhood.
And we need to cut off Valcor from Malice by forgiving him. Or is that not the purpose I serve?
I think forgiveness in this context is not going to be
You may forgive
kind.
them.
I have no intention of leaving Lenore Aztec alive.
Not all deserve forgiveness. But that is your judgment to pass. If it were up to me, I'd smite them dead now. And all of their kin, their friends, their family, everyone they've ever made contact with. So the idea of them is erased as well.
Adam's chicken off box.
That might be.
That'd be all of us then.
It would.
For the betterment of the world.
Everything that has been set in motion has been set in motion.
Now he gets it.
If I'm ever to reclaim my body, now is not the time. Though I appreciate the offer, and it feels extremely awkward turning down the most powerful being I've ever conceived of.
To set the record straight, I was not offering. I asked if it was something you wished.
Ah,
I have not decided if you are worthy of.
understood.
Considering your response to these evildoers, it seems deliberation is needed. You may be worthy to Freya, but I have higher standards.
Understood.
I have no problem killing both of
You should go first. You should follow her. Through the anarchy, through the crushed and destroyed cities, you should follow her. He looks towards the two of you. You. And you. The time, the Feywild, is unique in this group, for sure. Why have you come to this domain?
I was born here.
Yes, but you came back.
Came to find out having something with her.
Yes, I know your
That's why I
reasons, but why?
She died, and I wanted to know why.
Did you come for vengeance? Did you come for discovery?
Oh, we would have both.
Or did you just want to find out and you were gonna go back home and say, well, that's that? Why did you leave?
Came for discovery. And depending on who it was, vengeance. Yes, I love that person.
And who's responsible for this?
The queen of the unstated court.
I'm not particularly fond of her either.
I'm glad.
Her darkness disgusts me.
She has something to do with my family. I don't know what.
You'll find out. And you. Your purpose eludes me in this group. Why do you want Valcor dead? Why do you want to save the world?
Be honest. With this It's fine. With this new information, my purpose eludes me as well. The desire to find my brother and bring him back to my parents, I don't think is a possibility now. But my purpose, I think, has evolved since being back in my plane of origin. No longer serving Divin of the Unseated Court. And now serving Ertal. The one
Yes.
who has given me life again.
Yes. The mortal.
I also fake prayed and connected myself to Malice.
It's like talking to the principal. This was a principal talking
And
to
I
me.
did not mean to, and I think that I really need to make up for that mistake by killing Valor.
I don't think you had to bring that one up.
He knows! It's Soul knows!
I like the
I'm
idea.
being truthful.
It's Mandy in front of the principal right now.
Oh my god.
So Mandy, what happened to class?
It's Mandy in
I
front
get
of.
all of this.
It's Mandy in front of the Supreme Court.
Mandy's at confession, okay?
So Mandy, you're just here as a witness. I killed somebody. That happened.
One time in 4th grade.
I'm trying to be as truthful as I can.
I should have told you to be concise and short as well. That was not.
Well, would it surprise you to know that I am also connected with Malice?
Yes.
We are considered equals. We are one of the, historians of your people call primordial beings. So I'm also quite connected. Being connected to a god is not... There's no fault in that, even if it's him. The fault lies in the actions that you take because of their teachings. I teach goodness and light to prevail. Malice teaches us about hate and darkness. Malice's reach has never been completely removed from the world, as you see with Aura and the Unseelie Court, as you see with Valcor. His poison runs deep in the world. And your goal will be to be the light in that darkness. If the Astral Brotherhood succeed in awakening him and freeing him from his prison, that poison will run like a river. His very presence is enough to become the end of the days. People will turn on each other, kill, destroy. That cannot happen. I've spent too much time developing this world for that to happen. My children and their influence. For us to restart would be travesty. And we love all of our creations. So if you need purpose, remember that even in the darkness, in the darkest of times, the light of soul will guide you. You and all of you will be the sun that rises at dawn. Now go and save the world. and he claps his hands, and you guys feel like you're falling. But just for a second, it feels like you're falling, like you're like never gonna end, and then you just all collapse and just like fall down onto like a dusty, dirty floor. And you guys look around, and there's remnants of a destroyed city everywhere you look. There's
Are we like middle of the street, or are we in a building? Or what the remains of the building?
where you landed right now. You're neither. You're on the outside of an entrance to the city. Pretty recognizable for those. This is clearly the setting of Redborough, but things have been drastically changed. There's no longer these large like stone walls surrounding the city. That's completely gone. Now there's just a watered moat with bridges where these entrances used to be at the southern tips of the city. Seems like water from the northern lake has created these moats all the way around. The central tower that was used to be the pristine beauty of the Shazera dynasty living quarters and capital is almost cut completely in half, and it's exposed at the top. You see multiple different fires sort of up and down these multiple chimneys all throughout. You see more smoke and fire at this point than most of you've ever seen in your life. It seems like half of the city has been caved in, collapsed in on top of the undercity. There's just the remains of what you all used to know. And we'll pause there for a quick break.
I would like to clarify, I didn't sleep.
Okay, we are unpaused. We're back. We back. Alright. Oh my gosh, hello. Okay, so you guys stand on the outskirts of a destroyed but semi-rebuilt city. There's still evidence of war-torn battle and destruction. Again, you guys have, for the most part, have spent time here, lived here, traveled here, were exiled from here. Like, all of you have been on these grounds before. You stand, as you remember, towards the southern gate of the city. But again, like I mentioned, there's no longer gates in the same way. Now it's a big moat where the wall used to be, where this lake has now filled in into a water territory line all the way around. And there's a bridge that's there's no guards. It's not militant anymore. But there's a bridge right in front of you, or generally in front of you, within a walking distance you can see. And then it looks like there's another entry point, maybe 300, 400 yards to the west, over to like the left.
It's another bridge, you said?
Yeah, another bridge. And then you can't really see on the other side because you gotta go across. I will say it's like kind of nighttime now. Like, it's not in the middle of the night. You can tell the sun maybe recently set.
Is he known enough to us? We know if we're at the north or the south entrance?
South entrance. The north entrance, if you guys remember, is like a lake. So
yeah, I remember the river.
Yeah, so there's like a big lake up here, and then the city's kind of like harbored up against it. And then there's like the southern tip is where you guys had gone up. And actually, I think that was kind of where you guys like snuck underground. Was in one of these entrances, and then there's like an east-west entry to like where the farmlands were.
Does the bridge go into the city, or like it's just a moat and it goes to another patch of land?
It's all into the city, yeah.
Okay. I just want to start walking, like
Yeah.
almost like he's kind of dazed at the destruction of his home, like starting to speed up as he walks to get to the bridge.
Looking around for like traps, like things that just look dangerous, essentially, like threats.
there's anybody hidden in the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no one on guard at all.
Might as well just do it.
Say, remember,
Yeah.
Callan, this is 400 years removed from when we last saw this.
Alan's kind of probably in a daze, just kind of trying to get to the top of the bridge to see what has happened.
My
Probably
passive
looking-
perception is 21. I'm hoping that helps.
Okay, observant.
We get it. You're a hunter. You said okay, observant. Yeah, you are passively perceiving a lot. I mean, there's clearly like people here, right? Like you can hear it. Like it's not
Empty.
by any means, but it's also not to the same level of hustle and bustle as you guys
There's no
were,
meat festival
accustomed
going
to before.
Do we get the idea that, my perspective, do I get the idea that while we're walking to the town, people are like looking at us through shutters or?
So I wouldn't say you guys have crossed over the bridge quite yet. You guys are walking towards the bridge. I think Feria was asking about like perception checks, but then she has a stupid passive perception, so that's unnecessary.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you as you're approaching, you see a bunch of watching eyes, clearly trying to be hidden, but they haven't tried to hide from you. And there's probably 15, 20 people like watching this gate, watching this entrance. And you don't see them making any sort of movement, but you definitely see them like from inside some of the like climbed up on top of some of the like buildings that are just inside. You see them like peeking through windows and things like that, watching you. Tough to tell whenever you just kind of see a couple of like shadowed faces paying attention to you. Whether or not they're intentively looking at you, I don't know, that's up to you to decipher. But they see you. So
Are they talking to each other? Or are they
Not
in
right now.
Groups, or are they all kind of spread out?
they're definitely spread out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know they fell. How did they just appear?
Superman land. No, they fell from the sky. Like there was a so so to help set the scene for maybe some of us that weren't there. From inside the city, one of the reasons why they're all looking at you guys is there was a crack of thunder with no lightning, and then a flash beam of light, as if a celestial being had opened up the world and dropped you in.
Very Haldheim.
Yes. It was a crack of thunder, and then a bright light sphere or cylinder, and then you all, like anyone in the city who was paying attention after that loud crack of thunder, watched these 8 individuals like and land. Some of them on their feet, I'm guessing, just because of dexterity, like passive dexterity, but some of you not. No damage was taken.
I didn't know what the rumors were sounding like.
Already. Yeah. Lots of rumors. And I am gonna hold on, let me message you something real quick.
Miracles what?
Oh, there you are.
Definitely landed on my feet.
Sure you did.
I got 21.
Yeah, sure. All of us.
I told you.
In the moment, what would you think you would have rolled?
I just
Not in the
rolled.
moment. That's after the moment.
I'm a box. I land on my. I rolled 2 nat 20s today.
And
I'm
you
on
rolled
a
the
roll.
1 and the 2 after that.
Wow.
Well, that's okay.
So technically, your next roll would have been a 1.
No, that would have been 16.
No, your next roll would have been a 1.
16. I just rolled.
Wow, and we can resolve this when we want to resolve this. But I would like to use the crystal ball of telepathy to cast scrying on Lenore Hasdeck. So if she could roll me a.
You.
Okay. All right.
Like, I hate that I gave you this item.
Oh no, I'm so excited.
It's about to crack, is what's about to happen.
If this
No,
bitch
it's
is
not.
still alive after 400 years.
It's grand.
I explained why she was still alive.
You did.
Yeah.
What does she
The
have to
bitch
roll?
is going down.
Lenore Aztec needs to scrying spell, whatever the scrying save is.
Wisdom.
Yeah, it's got to be wisdom, right?
Yeah, chances are
I
he's
was thinking I
succeed
has a
because he's
set
still alive
score.
long.
She's probably gonna beat it.
She has 400 years to level up.
That's true.
Everything. Everything.
Hey, all I know is Bob's
21.
not so good.
Very
She
much
beat a
so.
17.
Wisdom saving throw.
21. Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw.
Then nothing happens.
Oh, something happens.
I mean,
Everybody else are patty.
full disclosure, I was going to scry on her and be like, "We're coming for you, bitch," and hang up. Like that's
Oh man, I wish it would have worked. The scrying eye in your hand, like as you're trying to find her, it's like you're looking through the smoke. It's like you're in a burning building, and all you see is smoke, but you're not breathing in, you're not coughing, but you are terrified. Everywhere you look, it seems like you just keep seeing more like fire and destruction and fire, and it's like you start to see a darker silhouette of a figure through this gray white smoke, and you see her turn and look, and like as she turns, the like her hair kind of flips so you can tell it's a female silhouette, you know, story building.
Set the scene.
Yeah, and she clearly turns to address and look right at you, and you just see her hand raise up and go like this, and as that happens, the ball in your hand, you feel it try to crack, but it's too powerful of an item. You can see it start to try, and you see like a little bit of like a crack, just barely in it, but it's still intact. And there's just this echo as you hear, and she says, "Oh," and that's just echoed a few times in your head. Oh.
Chances we could find Willoughby.
Oh,
What?
What's the chances we could find Willoughby?
Casually slip the orb into the bag of holding. Like, I think Lenore knows that we're looking for her.
I think that's a good thing.
So you guys walking into the city.
Yes.
You guys walk in, and there's like,
Strut.
oh yeah, with confidence.
Thank you.
Just realized
Yeah.
You guys just fell from heaven.
We're-
You're feeling pretty good.
We are literally here to fuck shit up.
I skip.
You guys,
Skip dialogue. Skip dialogue.
everyone's like.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's like walking all tough and like, you know, slow motion Avengers, you know, and then
I'm slow motion skipping.
Your warlock is skipping.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
it's so good.
Walk.
Airtalk does not skip.
Do not skip in
I assume there's zero in the street.
Oh, there's tons of people now. As you guys walk through, as you guys walk over this bridge and enter into these outskirts, it's like dirt poor. Like we're talking like these buildings and homes aren't even fully developed and built. These are just stilts in the ground with a platform just there to give coverage of, you know, from the storms and rain being close to the water. You see more pieces of wood leaned up against another structure as a form of shelter than you actually see fortified buildings. And inside these structures, you see dozens of just sickly thin people, teenagers that are running out and kind of hiding behind, you know, some of the bigger kids and their parents, younger children that are completely cowering behind everyone. You see, what's
Is
that?
there any citizens that we see?
Oh,
Well, no, that's what I just want to keep an eye out. Is like I want to see, look for the glow.
glow. You look at each other and there's no glow.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out a gold coin. And I'm just, well, I think these people are gonna go crazy.
Fucking Heather, just one? You cheap asshole.
Are you gonna throw it down? Like,
What do you tip 3%?
No.
Fight over a peasant.
No.
Because I didn't really
I'm taking it out because I want to see And I'm gonna take it and be like, see how eager they are to come after this.
He looks at there's a kind of older man. It's tough to tell because of his physical deterioration if he's in his 40s or in his 70s. He's got the look of like a kind of like a middle-aged to late-aged older man, but his body looks like that of like Gandhi, like type, like skin and bones type structure. And he sees you like putting your hand out with the coin, and he's like, looking for, trying to gain understanding.
So I just been
Yeah. He's trying to gain understanding. He's looks at your hand, looks back at you. He says,
I would say, but dearest meeting, does this have any value to you? This gold that I'm about to give you. Would you like it?
nowhere to keep it, nowhere to hold it. Better with you in your pockets.
Something I've never heard before, but I will keep it just because you say so. Unless you would like it.
He looks at some of the others that are crowded around him, trying to get a glimpse of you guys and trying to hear. So they're getting cautiously close to you. But they seem weary. They seem, you know the phrase like, oh, it's a spider, but they're more afraid of you than you are of it. And everyone's like, no, fucking, I'm way more scared of spiders. That's kind of how you feel right now. Like they seem like terrified of you, but you're not sure why.
I see there's a scene in Harry Potter where like he's talking to the big spider and all the rest of them.
Yeah, they're crawling now. Yeah.
But Trey's looking at this.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's like they are actually like, they seem scared of you guys, and so like he's like,
real quick, I would say, would 1,000 of these mean anything to you?
what does that mean?
1,000 gold pieces.
What does that?
Riches and wealth. Do you value coin here? Is what I'm asking.
1,000.
Lots. Mountain. Big pile.
Can't hold it. Can't hold one. Not mountains.
Can we see the castle from here?
Maybe not once you guys are in here. You guys saw it when you were on the outside, but it was like kind of destructed.
I was gonna say, do you make trade of any kind with these coins of any kind? Silver, gold, platinum. Do you give these to somebody?
He's like looking at everyone, and they're all looking at him like for direction and understanding. He's like, and he just gets on his like knees in front and like bows down. And then everyone else also bows to all of you.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
Stand. So,
We are surrounded by entirely.
well, kind of.
That's the only way I know.
We're surrounded by these peasants, okay?
The only people who do this are poor.
So I kind of rings him up. I imagine he's so skinny, I kind of lift him with one hand.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Grim.
Grim?
Crim.
Crim.
Is he the leader of the people?
Are you? Do you lead these people? Who sleeps in the castle over there?
Ghosts.
No one runs Red Row.
Well, isn't that what you're here for? Isn't you supposed to be doing it? Not where you came back?
Do you know who we are?
The Scion.
Scion?
It's the prophecy. It has to be.
What?
What prophecy? Do you know somebody who knows the prophecy?
Yeah.
Can you take us there?
Can you put me down? and he like kind of limps for a second and follow me. And he walks you guys through these outskirts of this once great city, and he's walking you kind of up along the eastern part of the city. Starts to go a little north, and you start to sort of recognize the area, and you see glimpses of the tower, which used to host your family.
There's no tower there anymore. Right
It's
about
like
now?
60% of a tower. It is definitely still there. It's still the largest, tallest structure in the city, but it's just not. It doesn't have the same shine.
Is there any food around here?
Do you have food?
That's my question to you.
And he looks down at his like ribs poking out. He's just
I'm
no.
probably gonna start looking for food in my bag, like something to eat.
He's like, please don't eat me. I don't have much.
Explains why
He's
they-
looking at the fox woman. Don't eat me, please.
Just keep walking.
Just asking.
You should be able to tell.
He's gonna stop. He's gonna stop as some of the buildings get a. When I say nicer, I'm not talking, you know,
Structurally
5-star.
more complete.
I'm saying,
They're stone.
yeah, they're a little bit nicer.
They have 3 walls
Instead of lean-tos.
Yeah,
We're working our way to
most of the
okay?
we're getting to a new area of the city, and he says these in here you find it, people
People who know the
will
process.
help you more. Yeah, you guys are gonna fix it, right?
I
We're
will.
gonna try.
You know, you're gonna fix it. He looks back at the group of people that everyone's been following. It's like it was like a parade as you guys walked through. It's like everyone came out from their like buildings to follow, and there's like a couple hundred people behind you guys now. And he's like, they're gonna fix it, and they're all like, the prophecy is returned, and they all like raise their hands, and they're all like bowing to all of you.
I'm gonna distance spell the light spell on the back of Callan's head so it just like, starts glowing.
He said, you were all sent to save us. Thank you.
Is there anybody on this new section of street, or is it like
Just immediately back to questions. Like, no, nothing else. Just
Well,
immediately.
I had a plan if there's more people.
Are you
Just 200
asking me
followers.
or the guy?
No, you.
I thought you were asking the guy. He's like,
DM.
thank you for saving us. So like this other side.
No.
That's how I heard it.
Oh, whatever, guys. I'm like,
Oh my god. Yeah. So over here you see a few more people, and they're also all looking because it's like a commotion now, right? Like a bunch of people are looking in, but some of these people are now a little bit more, get up, a little more. You can tell these people either
They have hope.
they have
Fruit.
motivation.
There you go.
Okay. So, but there's not really anyone on the street, right? They're like in the homes, I'd imagine.
Yeah, there's still people walking around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we're trying to be sneaky, but I'm about to ruin this. So,
No.
There is no sneak with 200
so
followers.
No.
everyone in the city just saw us do.
I meant like outer wise, but never mind.
No, Lenore knows
so
we're here. They know
With each step, I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy, and like to and grow, and then
Hell
I'm
yeah.
going to with thaumaturgy. Callan Shazera, the rightful king, is here, and just slam the glaive and have the blade pop out. And now that I'm like 20 feet tall, like crack the stone, and thaumaturgy is loud as it'll go.
I'm gonna cast light on it. And then I'm gonna have little black flames.
I'm gonna put my disco ball dancing lights on.
I don't know, one hand juggle.
Serious.
We're all adding to the flare.
It's happiness.
Holy fuck. So, as you are this titanic...
It's called teamwork.
Oh, it's so funny.
Could.
Well, it's like, the way I see it is like, he grows and he's already big, and they're already like, yeah! And then like the light pops up, the flames pop up, and they're like, yeah! And then the disco balls come up, they're like, yeah! And then they just see Cornelius going, yeah.
I throw it, and then my shadow catches it and
And then they're just like, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, these guys.
We're losing them.
They're like suspicious, like, are they gonna start charging us for this? Like, this is entertainment. No, they're like, they're going nuts, yeah. Yeah. No, they're going nuts.
I don't know if this is exactly how the prophecy described them.
It's said to be, it's all said to be the light. This is
We'll be in the light.
And truthful. Yeah.
So you all make an entrance.
Yeah, we do.
And as you enter into the older man, he says, "These we call the slums.
Are we going into the slums or we're going out of the slums?
We can't afford the slums. The slums be they be the poor folk, but they have more riches and values than us.
Can't say I have gold. I would gladly give to them. They don't give a shit about it.
Look for
Hungry.
just look for one of the either the guards, the iron guards, or one of the crimson folk, the red folk. They sneaky. They'll find you probably.
Did any of the guards look out? I mean, is there any guards that we see?
No, when he says guards, he means like a group of people. There's not actual guards. Guards would elicit some sort of like functional military government, but there's none of that. He's saying look for one of the guards or one of the red folk. You might need to find someone with higher intellect to be able to explain what that means.
No. Well, I'll turn to him and thank you, Trip.
Thank you. All of you prophecies. The Scion has arrived.
I'll turn and start walking down the street, still raging for the minute that it happens.
You see all these people get right up to that territory, like right up to where the lines where he said the slums, and they're all just like standing right there at the edge, but like they're like Shazera, 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 and they're all chanting, and you guys just hear it kind of fade as you guys continually walk into the slums. The slums is the poorer part of Asheroth. You left what they consider the outskirts, just the outlands. The outlands, sorry, that's what it's called. It's like they're like beyond what even is considered the city. But in here, the slums, you're seeing a lot more potential criminal activity. You're seeing a decent amount of more people running in groups and collaborators, maybe mercenaries of sorts, whatever they may trade. But you're seeing a little bit more of that side. In a weird way, a little more familiar side of a city.
We imagine the underground of the city.
Yeah, it's like that came up. But as you guys walk through again, right, Feria, your passive perception, you're feeling all of these eyes watching you guys. Are you still big?
No, I'm French.
Okay. I was like,
Every 59 seconds, I'm punching him in the back.
Are you currently doing one?
no, it would be every 6 seconds. It's every round. It's every 6 seconds. You have to be like,
Oh, yeah.
no, you hit me. No, kidding.
Punch you into a wall.
You, Feria, you hear coming from one of the kind of shortened buildings. It looks like an impromptu alleyway that was created out of the destruction of a building that was broken in half. And you hear this like, it sounds like a rat noise being made by a person, and it's distinct. And you look over and you see kind of a younger, like a younger girl, in her like probably early teens, mid-teens. She's wearing like a red scarf and like sort of just regular kind of darker brown black clothing, but she has like a pretty bright red scarf on. And she's just kind of leaning over going, and when you look, she like pulls back like, oh shit. Like, oh shit, she heard me.
She did not expect you to look at her.
But then as you're still walking and you kind of look, you see her kind of peek back out. And then she like smiles and kind of like a half giggle and like pulls back again.
Seems to be some form of communication here.
The primitive poor people.
Well,
They
I'm
become
I just don't understand that they don't want gold.
just
He's
saying.
having, you're having an existential crisis.
They
That's
can't
a level of
talk.
core I can't comprehend.
I was only giving away.
There's some signaling happening. I doubt we're going to remain unconfronted here. We're looking for some crimson something, right?
Yeah.
She was wearing a red scarf.
Is there anybody else with a red scarf on the street?
See a few. See a few.
Are they in groups?
Are they going?
Yeah. Now that you're listening for it, you hear them kind of doing that to each other, and you see them kind of looking at each other.
If they're walking down the street and like we're this, at the last second, I just want to step in front of them.
Yeah.
And
And then what?
are you the Crimsons or part?
And one of them looks up at you, and he looks up at you, kind of confused that you are here, and talking to them like this. Like you see it in his eyes, but that's really all you can see.
Can I roll an insight to see if it's more of like how dare he or like who is this person?
Yeah.
Or like more
Yeah,
of like
roll
a
it,
slight
yeah.
of we're like, oh,
Roll-
I'm part of
roll-
the Crimsons, respect me.
I'm gonna say roll insight with disadvantage because all you see is his eyes as he's wearing like this
Okay.
like facial covering that has like
Well, one was a natural
Yeah.
20, and the
Uh,
other one was a 17. 12 plus 5 is 7. 17.
so you're seeing this individual with like a red leather like face mask with like tassels coming down, and all you see is these eyes, and he's looking up at you like, who the fuck? Like not in a way like who do they think they are, but just like who is this? Like what the fuck? Like people don't walk around with your kind of confidence around here. You know what I mean? Like he's like who is this? But he doesn't say anything. He's just looking up at you. And then what did you say to him?
I said, are you part of the Crimsons? Or the Crimson, I guess.
You just hear,
Do I understand them?
what?
You understand? Oh, they're not rats, but they're just clicking.
Oh no, he's a person. He's just that's like their way of like talking to each other.
Oh, like it's thieves' camp. Are you actually
Yes.
like thieves' camp?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a rogue.
It is
I was so confused.
She did not explain that.
I was so confused.
okay, two things.
She knows these.
Two things that are important to mention. This isn't a language. They're not actually saying words. It's like literally when you're like when you're like calling for somebody. Yeah, like just like that. It's like when you do that to your dog, like, are you actually communicating and saying things? No, you're just getting their attention. That's what they're doing. It's more like it's like, hey, look here. So in a way, yes, you can comprehend that because you're like, But no, they're not speaking like a hidden language. Yeah, maybe I explained that wrong. They're literally just going like, yo.
It's just weird.
In the moment that he asked, because he did that in response,
Yeah.
you guys would have all seen my shadow, which you've seen before, show up behind him. And I changed places with him. This is the attack on the shoulder.
Change places.
Yeah, I changed places with him and I tapped on the shoulder behind him. They go, my lord requested. My lord asked a question. Who are you?
And I'm kind of like
I
bent
want
down
to just scare him.
towards. I kind of
And
bent
now he
down
sees that my shadow replaces with me.
to get eye level.
So you're like down to his level.
Well, no, like it's kind of like towering over to eye level, if that makes sense.
Got
Not
it.
like, but like.
You're the bend over.
So he's kind of looking up at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see him take his mask off. You. And it immediately changes. It's not a mask, it's a helmet that he's disguised into a mask, and it just turns into a small helmet that he just attaches to his belt. I am part of the Crimson, yes, obviously red. Why?
Well, one organization within my city. I would want to know.
You really jumped on this king bandwagon,
I am
Like
king.
to the front, back.
Yeah,
As you guys are having this conversation, you all see there's like a kind of semicircle of these like crimson bearing folks kind of surrounding you guys. It is important to note, does not look like they're doing it in an intimidating way, but again, like the last people, sort of in a curiosity type of way.
What's going on?
Yeah, like they're not like the tough guy in the background, like in those movies where they're all like, yeah, say something. Like they're not. It's other people that. There's some that look kind of like the young girl. There's some that look like, in their 20s, like fit like normal like people. But then there's some that are like a little bit more elder. But you do notice, or I guess something you notice when looking and trying to perceive them, they're very quiet. They're able to they're like very stealthy as they sort of go
Even
Mm-hmm.
the
through.
young and older wearing red.
Yeah, in different ways. It's not like one uniform. They're all wearing like
They're wearing something red.
yeah.
All the bloods. Okay, so we're not using bandanas.
Some are.
You're just you can claim your city all you want. These are just ruins at this point.
For now.
You should probably not speak so openly in the streets. You will attract too much attention.
From who?
I always attract attention.
Roger Rapier is There's not been a king here for over 400 years. There's not even been a kingdom in this location for 400 years. With all due respect,
there-
you're looking one. I'm looking at a man who says he's a king, and if you believe the prophecy, sure.
That man was my father.
And to be fair, the prophecy doesn't necessarily establish a king, it establishes.
Can you say the prophecy? Because we actually don't know the prophecy.
Yeah, basically a bunch of bad shit happens, right? And then the Scion arrives, and the Scion is like a group of people with the mark to reestablish, to end the anarchy.
Do we have a mark? I don't think we've actually taken like an inventory of ourselves. Is there a mark on us?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm going to look at myself.
Yeah.
She's over there.
You know what? Right on your nipple. You have to show everyone to prove it. So as you guys are looking at yourself, you don't see anything. But
real quick before we
actually, sorry, one person it is obvious on. So you all don't see it on yourself. But as you're trying to inspect and look and trying to figure out what mark is it? What did we get? You see Millicroft as he is also spinning his whole fucking head around. On the back of the neck portion of Millicroft, there's a circle and then sort of a wavy sun-like emblem, which immediately recognizable is the symbol of soul.
Turn Cornelius around real quick.
And then as you all look at each other, you all have it branded softly. It almost looks like a birthmark, like you've had it your whole life.
Oh, good, you mark with the sunset.
Cool.
You touch me, you die.
Is there a leader of this place who said that there has not been a king?
There's not been any form of governance here. You have people fighting constantly, trying to vie for power. You are here in the slums run by the Silver Serpents, which...
Why does that name sound familiar?
Oh,
Was that a game back then?
Is
You,
there
you watched that tonight again, simple. Okay. You say Silver Serpents, but you are wearing crimson. You are not a leader of these people? Oh, my God, I'm not, no.
what is your name?
I don't give a shit about his name.
I don't give a shit about his name. We've been extracting information from this individual, and we haven't bothered to get to know him. What is your name, friend?
Name's Shrev. the one you need to worry about. The Red Mask cares more about y'all than I do. The Red Mask, it's my leader, per se. She has different viewpoints, but...
She is your leader, as you hear chanted in the back.
She is your leader.
Being said, there's no leadership. There's factions that you line up with, and there's factions you don't line up with. It's
Is there a faction that has most power?
just different forms of power. The Market District has, let's say, a seedy underbelly. And then...
Like, actually under the city?
No.
Just a
Not anymore.
metaphorical underwear.
Yeah, that's all gone now.
Okay, that's what I was like. I was wondering if there's actually a...
Okay, seedy underbelly. Okay, maybe
It's
bad choice of words. They're very out in the open.
It's
with
gone,
their
yeah.
activities. There's the Black Talon. They're very dangerous.
You're doing
The
great.
Iron Guard.
I said you're doing great.
Thanks, bud. There's the Iron Guard. They try to keep order, but not necessarily well. It really depends on what you're looking for. I would say Crimson Dawn. The real stronghold of the city. The best morally, I would say. It just, what are you looking for?
He beats around the bush a lot like you do.
We're here to kill Lenora Aztec. You know who that is?
Not a clue.
Astral Brotherhood?
You know this symbol?
My hand will open up in a glowing symbol that may or may not be branded on someone
My
you've seen
scarred
before.
hand as well.
Yeah. You definitely have seen that.
Yeah.
Where's that
Well, there's a lot of places.
It's like I'll answer for him
Okay.
because he doesn't have that information yet.
You're doing great, Trey.
No, he's doing great.
Yeah.
The Astral Brotherhood. I am Shreb right now. So like the Astral Brotherhood is like they're like everywhere. Not the people necessarily, but their presence. Like you see that symbol on crates of items that are sent to the city. You see that
The branding symbol?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that their symbol or is
It's like
it
their
your
logo
symbol?
name.
That's the symbol I put on them. But they've
Oh.
co-opted, I guess.
Is there anybody with that symbol right now?
Do you see?
What's that?
Is there anybody with that symbol on them right now? In this
No.
symbol?
People aren't wearing it. It's like
Oh.
you see it on like the way Srev is totally telling you right now. Like you see it on things. Like you see it on like
It's a brand.
It's a logo.
it's like a company. Like it's a logo. It's everywhere. It's like Nike. Like you just see it everywhere.
Look what you did. You created a corporation.
But he's very adamant. It's like, but they don't come here often, and when they do, like no one fucks with them. Like when they come in to do whatever they need to do and leave. They come as like groups of like hundreds or thousands at a time.
Oh, right. Do you know where they reside normally?
No one does. They not in
Here.
Asheroth,
So they
which
come
used to
in,
be Redborough.
They drop things off. Don't interact.
Well,
and they
I
leave.
wouldn't say they drop things off. They come and negotiate with whoever they're here to negotiate with them so they can leave. They will ship things that sometimes get stolen. There are a whole dock of pirates. It's a whole thing.
Can we meet your red mask?
At the moment, no. But
Why?
later on, sure, I'll set something up.
What
I
is
guess
her name?
Red Mask.
Nothing more?
Nope. I guess I would ask in terms of trade, what is it that these different factions are arguing about?
Do they use these?
I have loads of, in all due respect to myself, and some may be richer than myself at this moment, but I have loads of gold and silver and copper, but none of the people around the city give two shits about coin. Yeah, because coin means nothing. What is it you traded? Food and services. There's no governance. Your coin means like, oh, pretty shiny. I can put that on a wall and look at it. But it doesn't it has no value. The value of that item is brought in by the government. There's none here, so we trade in goods and services and food, and that's why when you walked through the slums, you were brought in without any hesitation. Not the slums, the
Outlands.
They have nothing. They require a ton, but they have nothing to give you. So,
Like the giving society.
just in the sense of your people, did you previously
Were you all that
underground?
poor and skinny?
No, we just gave. We had no services and goods and food.
That's a successful version. There's not.
Yeah, that requires a lot of cooperation. There's clearly no cooperation.
Yeah, like an idea.
No fighting for power.
I obviously see the differences here. You're much less mannered. An interesting taste of decor.
It's a war torn. It's new age, I know.
Mid-century war torn.
As I said,
This is-
interesting taste.
It's actually the stylistic choice that happened almost immediately after all of the like farmhouse. It went straight to war torn.
It was revolutionary.
Farmhouse
Yeah.
is my
Called
favorite.
the Bro. Honey. But back to your question, they trade mostly in various non-commercialized goods. So
Like people.
You want a bread, you give something for the bread. You don't.
Did somebody say that out loud?
Srev said it.
What do you call it?
Like sometimes they trade in people.
I didn't know how far we were going with that, so I was beating around that bush.
Well, that's something that you have seen the Astral Brotherhood come in and give a bunch of supplies and food and blankets and shelter and things like that, and then it's given a couple dozen people.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that slavery was
No.
we're getting them. Slavery was happening
No.
before.
Slavery, no.
Oh, this is more like the trafficking type.
No.
I will say.
Tend to be a better life.
Sort of.
I will say. Never mind. I won't tell you. Because he wouldn't think it was important to tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he wouldn't think it's important. Like
Yeah, that's
you
right.
wouldn't know.
I mean, do we try to go for being as Ren? I'll be like, hey, is there, speaking on behalf, if I may do so, the Emperor, to be, is there,
I think you misunderstand. It's not one. The Scion is not one. You are all the Scion.
No, that's not my name.
No,
No,
of course not.
I think
It's
it's
your
a
label.
group of us.
We understand that, I think. This
I
is
don't-
more of
You really do. You seem to be putting him on a pedestal, but you all are the pedestal.
well, I mean, we've never seen him grow to the size that we all
I
have.
just did. He was 20 feet tall.
artists.
I have no problems knocking you down a peg.
So,
Squish you.
with all due sincerity, do you have some sort of meeting between the individuals that you are as well as the others, like the
Like a meeting of the Crimson.
Do you have a meeting to the Crimsons and the Snakes or what other groups?
All the
And we can
factions.
speak to them all at once.
Some of us don't. Okay, so we are
Do
seeing.
you refer to somebody else?
You know, you're not going to get all of us in one place. See, there's some that we don't associate with. The Black Talon especially have their own ways of doing things. The pirates I could probably get you in with. The Azure Consortium I don't think you could touch. Silver Serpents maybe we could get you with. The Iron Guard, she's a hassle and a half, but we could get you there. Not all, but two.
Well,
shit.
we need to find out where the quickest way to Lenora is.
The Black Talon. What? Could you tell me more about that group?
A vile group of mercenaries that kill for nothing but sport. But
That's exactly what Lenora is.
Or it's above all the factions. So what is past the slums? What's the hierarchy here? We have whatever's going on out there. We have this. What does it look like
The closer
So
you
out
get to
there
it,
are the Brokies. And here are the Brokies. There's the Market District of Brokies. There's the Imperial District of Ruins. There is the libraries. They're not broke. They have knowledge. But
are there
They're
people
rich
that
with
live in
knowledge.
the libraries?
What state
well,
of the
knowledge is
library
power.
is in?
Power is money. I don't know, but what?
What state is the library
It's in a state.
It's it's there.
in? It's a library.
It has
Honestly, a lot of us aren't allowed to go there, or we wouldn't. There's nothing there for us. It's really just a bunch of crazy old magicians doing magic tricks.
Who prevents you from going to the library?
Ourselves, there's nothing there. I wouldn't go. There's no food. Knowledge is all known. So they're working on things we don't care about. If you would like to go learn magic, little spellcasters, sure. But most of us don't really have that capability in the city.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
the
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
are the libraries the most central part, or does it get to be more
No,
less
it's
brokies?
like the western part. The most central part is the ruins, the Imperial District, which is pretty much no more. The ghosts in the castle, per se.
Actual ghosts or
Where do other people
Oh my
go?
gosh.
I don't know. I don't go there.
Not already.
I myself tend to stick to the slums, the atters, the market district, and the docks. That's where my trade happens.
And as you guys are talking, that little semicircle of crimson folk, because the way I imagine this is there's Srev talking to originally just Callan, but then he got tapped on the back, and then like what? So like I imagine he's like talking to all of you, but behind him you see all of the crimson folk with their different garb and all of that. You see the crimson folk like kind of like step aside of themselves, and like you see a figure walk through with this shroud over their face with just like this dark red mask. Just they come up behind Srev and just place their hand on his shoulder.
You want the red mask?
And then all they do is they put their hand on your shoulder. You turn around, they're like, "Oh, here," and then they just turn and walk, and you follow. Didn't say anything.
You'll see me put a helmet back on, and then a mask will reappear, and then we'll go.
Just follow the person as they walk.
You should.
I'm gonna put my hand on Callan's shoulder and grab the crystal ball, and I'm gonna cast Scrying on Shalane. Because last I knew,
She's a vampire.
my lorekeeper homie who turned to Malice, last I knew she was in Redborough.
Who's the lorekeeper?
It's the beard turning.
Hmm?
Twister.
It's the.
How many
this is
times
the
can you
thoughts
use
of
your?
her.
I can just
It's
use
a
it.
legendary
I can
item.
use it.
Yeah.
I can just keep using it.
I'm gonna
It's,
borrow you in a second.
if someone passes the save, though,
I was like,
I can't do it on them for another
Another day.
24 hours. But with the crystal ball, I can cast it as many times as I want.
That's why it's so
And I've got a couple of other people I need to check in on too.
One second, I'm gonna ask you to look for my sister.
These, I will say though, for full disclosure, these aren't going to be like having full conversations. I'm taking tabs on people real quick.
Is Shalane an elf, right?
It's an elf, I thought.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
She would have lived that
She
way.
could've.
Most likely.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, would she have died of natural? You try to scry, but nothing. You can't find her.
And then immediately I will try to scry on my mother and my father, who are an elf and dwarf respectively.
They're Fane and Mythfrost.
They're what?
They're at their Fane and Mythfrost.
Oh, they're there.
What the hell?
Okay.
Buffy?
Okay, that's it.
My dad might be alive.
Well, here's the is we're in the middle of this, like, we're about to go talk to the Red Mask. While we're walking, I'm having Callan guide me, and I'm like, okay, who can I think of that would still be here? And I'm like going through the Rolodex, like, They alive, they alive, they alive.
I'm gonna notice you're doing that and be like, "Dear scribe, do you mind helping me find my sister? She should be here."
Oh, scry and hurry.
It'd be tough.
Yeah,
You never.
She has a +10 to her save.
Akari.
Well, her name's different now.
Oh, okay.
I
Akari.
know who she is, and there's like different ways that
It's
it's
a
raised.
+10 because you only know of her.
I mean, it's a DC 17.
She has a +10 to her save.
Natural 1.
Whoa! The story,
Hey,
wants,
it's
the
roll
story
slide
wants to
numbers.
be told.
Are you? So you're being guided by Callan as you're doing this? So you're just like
We
kind of
just,
blindly
like
walking.
when you're holding onto a shopping cart.
Basically,
with
yeah.
Your parents. Callan
I'm-
shopping
I
cart.
imagine
like
he's just hanging
a-
out of my belt. I'm just
Like
Just
a,
carry him.
I'm pretty
Just
strong too.
What are those called? You know, like we're like a stone that someone will like rub. I'm basically just like holding it in my hands and then being guided by Callan walking. And the normally glowing purple eyes will like fade out for a second, and then come back on and fade out for a second. I'm being subtle about it. But.
yeah. Yeah. As you're trying to find Akari. Like you're trying to find Akari, and it's tough because it. Unlike when you weren't able to find Shalane, right away the scrying sphere knew that. It knew the reason why
Yeah.
it wasn't able to find her. This is different because it's trying to find her. It's like it knows she's here and it's trying to find, and then it locks on. And you're looking at all of you guys walking.
Damn, master. And we just ruined a surprise.
What does it mean?
I mean,
Is it centered on anyone in particular?
it's clearly looking at this masked figure.
Oh, the red mask.
There you go.
So
Not him.
Right,
not
the
this
red mask.
not this
No.
masked figure.
I remember looking at my
So-
sister.
That would have been so slick if I could pull that off. But I didn't.
Okay, so he'll like the eyes will come back on and look up and go.
What about the mask?
Your sister. I would say we just follow where we're going, and
That's my sister.
it worked.
We didn't see it
She's
with
about to
face.
fucking steamroll.
Shape.
Yeah.
What?
We didn't see the person's face shape.
It's just a mask. Yeah, it's like an oval
Hood
mask.
Well, I
It's
knew
like
I,
a kitsune has elongated nose.
Realistically-
They
Only
also
sometimes,
have
We
but
can look
not all the
human.
time.
realistically, Novacroft knew he would spend the entire walk where we were going on.
Kind of like
What?
when you were gonna propose to Mandy and we were in the botanical gardens. We
Yeah,
kept being
we're
like,
like-
"Now, do it!" Like,
Alexis and I went off our own because Kelby walks so fucking fast. But you know what that's like. You know what that's like.
That's what you do, man.
She's kind of upset that she didn't say anything.
Let's-
I think
let's-
I'm going to let her lead. Because nervous.
Ooh, that'll be interesting. Are you not?
Where is she leading us?
Let's
This
see
is
what
big-
her
this is your
intention
older
is.
sister.
Now that we know who it is, we can feel a little more comfortable.
Technically, she's my twin, but she's slightly older. She's whatever, like 2 minutes older than me.
And wasn't she
She's
blonde?
popped out first.
She's blonde.
But I don't know if she's older.
Dang.
so the red mask leads you through some of the back streets of the city. You guys begin kind of going through in some parts. Some of the bigger folk have issues trying to like navigate because it's going through kind of skinny parts and like buildings that are really close together, and you make it through, but it's a kind of arduous journey. Like it takes you guys like about an hour or so to get where you're trying to be, because she keeps leading you through buildings and then like upstairs to jump across to another building to like go downstairs, and it's almost by design that it's confusing enough to not remember how you got here.
I definitely would have
Throughout the walk, I imagine like Benari was in the back.
complained. What the heck?
But then like she just slowly starts
Yeah, she-
finding her way closer.
The mask is not turning around either.
Yeah, like closer to the front of the line.
Yeah, you're like right behind
Just
Srem.
Just like staring back, like not daggers, but just like burning a hole in the back of her head. Just like.
You do notice she's taller than you.
Okay.
Like
Significantly taller.
about a foot taller than
Damn.
Anari.
Okay.
Uh,
She's gonna. She's definitely. She's also hesitant because not that she doesn't believe you,
But yeah.
but like.
but as you guys are like walking through all these like ruined and destroyed buildings, you get to a downstairs, like stairs that keep going down, and you're like, okay, but we've done so many downstairs, and then we turn or whatever, but these keep going, and then it's almost like a hotel where you just keep going down the stairs and keep going and keep going and keep going. So eventually, it's almost as if, like some of you know, there used to be an undercity. That city has been collapsed in, but there's still pockets, and this is one of those pockets. And this is where the Crimson Dawn meet. This is their hideout. As you get all the way down, it's fire lit, like lamps on each side, all the way through this long corridor, and you start seeing breakout rooms and large conference areas and like kind of like large rooms with big tables and chairs, and it's considering what you saw up there, it's kind of nice down here. It's like it's a little more elegant in a way, like as a headquarters would be. And you all come to you see a large hearth in the bottom that has a chimney that's going all the way up beyond, and you see this is clearly where some of this undercity collapsed, but you can see up, and it's almost like you can see the stars, but just pitch black. This whole room is the brightest of the rooms so far, so there's this big fire. And then the masked figure turns around and looks at all of you and sees Shrev. It's gonna fuck me up, dude.
Like Shrek, but would it be Shrek?
Yes. It's still gonna fuck me up. And she's gonna like just point at you, and then everyone else, and the doors close behind, and you see her take off this red mask. She's only done in front of you before, and she looks at all of you, and you all see a pale-skinned, very fair-looking high elf woman with blonde hair, beautiful kind of green blue eyes, and she looks at all of you one by one and locks eyes with Anari. And you immediately see her just start sobbing. And you're like, what the fuck? You see her, and then she just drops the mask on the floor, and it makes like a heavy clunk as it hits the ground.
So I do know, like, for sure this is my sister at this point. Okay.
Estimation.
So, without any context or anything, she is just gonna go into her arms.
Yeah,
and
just
hug her
full
and
embrace.
wail. Just body shaking, face like a baby. Just wail.
You guys,
into her sister's
as you watch Anari come, and again, you're about a foot shorter, so as you go and embrace, she wraps her arms over yours, and is just like resting her head on your chin, crying, sobbing, and you guys all see her face, and it's a interesting phenomena because you're watching this woman that was all for the entire hour-long walk, stoic, quiet, still quiet technically, but just like tears falling down her face, and you can literally see memories being uploaded into her mind as she's embracing her sister. Almost like she didn't know until she saw her. Like a Russian sleeper cell, you know? Like she saw Anari and instantly clicked. All the memories come back. As a little girl growing up in the village, being trained side by side, growing her tails, continually expanding her spell list and her abilities to be a protector. And then you watch. And again, Anari doesn't see this because she's like embracing, but you watch. There's like a moment where she literally reenacts with her hand like this in her back. And you just watch her just like while still embracing you, just like hold her hands in her head, and she just like drops to the floor and slams the ground. Frustrated. And she looks up at you and she says, like, just over and over again, not in the voice of your sister, but in a high elven, soft voice with a little grit because she's pissed. Just, I'm sorry, over and over again. Just, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm sorry.
So, Inari's probably gonna go into her fox form, and she's gonna like curl up into her and just like set her nose to her nose, because that's not that y'all knows this, but there was like a traditional thing of like that's how you would show affection in your fox form was nose to nose, and you just like nose kisses, and so she like will give her little nose kisses and just like lay her head, on her shoulder and just like purr into her and just take their tails and like hug her through these sobs as she's crying as well in fox form, and just purring her and like soothing her almost in what seems like a humming, like soothing her to calm her down. It probably will go on for a little bit.
She cannot turn into fox form.
No, she can't. I don't think she can. But she'll understand the symbolism.
Yeah, you're understanding pretty quickly like what happened. It's he brought your sister back through someone else, essentially.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And sorry to this other lady.
But yeah, I'm gonna play by the other lady. But yeah, eventually after like a moment or two of collecting ourselves and kind of uncontrollably going through the emotional ups and downs of this reunion, just because no words really have been said from Inari, it's just pure emotion at this point. And while she kind of finally is like catching her breath and calming down, she'll form back, and we're still probably on the ground at this point. And she'll probably still be hugging her and just be like, never stop loving you. I almost tried to hate you. You did. You will always be my sister. Need to know. Were you happy for a while? Well, you lived your life. Did you have a life?
No. No, of course not. Almost immediately when my task was complete, I was released from the charm of the blade, and I spent the remainder of my life trying to protect the followers. Even went to that decrepit city after our village was destroyed. That's where I went. That's where my legacy was cemented as protector. Since I failed here and I failed you.
You did not fail me. I failed you. Bringing that into our home. It was my fault. I made contact with somebody despite the teachings of our village. Out to outsiders and brought this evil into our home. Anybody needs to ask for forgiveness.
She just like continues to embrace, and she looks at everyone in the room. She says, I am so sorry, and how rude of me. I'm a woman of many names, it seems. Some know me as the Red Mask. Others, very few, know me as Alara Voss. And only one knows me as Akari. I have not been by that name in some time. I'm not sure how I'm remembering all of this. This morning I had no recollection of you or our past or anything.
I might have some knowledge on why that may be, but
I'm sure there's plenty stories to tell, but all of you, thank you for bringing my sister back to me. Now, I personally have a vendetta against a certain someone. Will you help me?
Is that person Valkor?
I don't think his name is worth speaking, to be fair. I'll call him the Night Stalker.
Solid.
Then that's an emphatic yes.
Yes.
Good.
Italicized.
Because me and my Crimson have been keeping eyes on him. Not him, I apologize. On his people. We've been keeping eyes on all of those purple-eyed little freaks. And we will find them. And we'll follow them.
The eyes will go out when I'm
Those change colors.
Quit looking at me.
You reckon so, right? Just accept you.
The slit slides shut.
And she's like, but if we are going to be working together, only one of you seems to be fitting the color scheme. The rest of you are gonna need something. But come now, we have much to discuss. And she's gonna turn and make eye contact with Inari and just say, I think you and I should have a drink. The rest, we'll meet for dinner soon. Mingle with some of the folks here and get comfortable. Dear God, get something red. It's our only requirement. Srev will help you find something. And all of you.
Just scarves.
It's like a little shoestring. You just tie it
I already have some bread.
on.
Some paint.
I just imagine like the magicians pulling the things out of the hat.
Red,
It's all red.
But she's like, dear, just find something red. That's our only requirement. We'll have dinner soon, all of us. But for now, I'd really like to spend some time with my sister. So we'll talk soon.
Of course.
Please leave.
She's gonna look at y'all and be like,
Melkrot's head will turn completely backwards as his body will walk backwards out the door.
And as you guys all walk out of the room, led by Srev, he's going to lead you guys out because he knows his way around this joint. You guys just sort of watch Inari and Akari just sort of turn and look at each other, like in this like kind of more bright lit room. And that's where we'll end this session. Is the reunion.
That was a really good one.
it was heavy Tristan.
Well done, well done.
Oh.
I was saying right before I left, I was like,
Hey, and Trey's back.
Yay!
Yay!
Was that another goal?
Well, that
Just
was
a fun
part of
trade?
the same goal.
Drink it back in the campaign.
Yeah.
Goal for everybody.
Cool for everybody.
Straight out of the camp.